today, Sony has announced a brand new streaming app which is going to be available from today on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 called Sony Pictures Core. Now this is kind of like a rebranded version of their Bravura app, which is going to be rebranded next year. Currently you can only access that app on those particular televisions or particular devices from Sony, but they're spreading it out to Sony's PlayStation devices, which makes a lot of sense because there's hundreds of millions of devices around the world, and yeah, trying to get it into more homes. So this new streaming kind of platform is going to allow people to buy and rent Sony Pictures films. There's going to be about 2,000 on there. It's not going to be your traditional streaming app in terms of like paying a subscription fee. However, if you are a PS Plus member, you're going to be able to get access to 100 films from the selection. Don't know what they are yet. I have been trying to log in for the last half an hour. Just kept bouncing me back in and out because couldn't get into it to see what the movies were. But yeah, so it's kind of a subscription service, and I kind of see where they're going with the idea of having PlayStation Plus members being able to have it as a nice little bonus, and maybe you get in there and you start buying films and stuff for it. Not entirely sure if that's the best way of going. You might want to instead go for the normal traditional digital route so you can watch it on other platforms. We don't know if it's going to be connected like with Disney Movie Anywhere. I mean, maybe if you're renting it, they're going to be able to have access to some of the Sony films a little bit earlier, like Gran Turismo and things coming up. So obviously this might interconnect a little bit more with the Marvel films for us. You know, like with Craven and Madam Web and the new Spider-Man films and stuff. So there's a whole host of Spider-Man films on the platform, across the Spider-Verse, Morbius, the Spider-Man films. So there's a kind of a connection there for Marvel fans to have access to it. But it just seems a bit of a weird way. Sony have generally tried to keep out of the streaming wars. They haven't fully gone in launching their own streaming service. And this is kind of is and it isn't. I mean, if it didn't have the PS Plus stuff, that would be a bit different. But Sony only a couple of years ago took down the store from the PlayStation app where you could download movies and rent movies, because that's actually where I used to rent all my films, because it used to be like £1 cheaper than buying and renting from Amazon. So I always used to do that. But yeah, so they've kind of gone backwards. And I mean, it makes sense for Sony to try and sell its movies and stuff for its devices. I mean, you've got hundreds of millions of these PlayStations all over the place. Why not try and use it? But this is a really weird way of doing it. I mean, I do think PlayStation Plus could do with having some extra benefits. Maybe if you're on the premium tier, you get access to a lot more. But very weird. The movies that are on that 100 selection are going to keep changing in and out, a little bit like they do on PlayStation Plus games. I think it's a good way of combating Xbox's Game Pass, but it's like, what is it? I mean, the only good thing is as well with the streaming platform is it's going to be much better quality than you might get through like Amazon or anything like that. I don't know. It just seems really, really, really weird. It's kind of like a weird concoction of trying to a PlayStation store with a little bit for PlayStation Plus, and just offering Sony films. I mean, you know, they're going to be like 2,000 of them. It's just a very odd little way of doing it. It's like, because Sony are still licensing out content. You know, they've got a deal with Netflix for their first window for films. You know, anything new comes out goes to Netflix for 18 months, and then it will go to either Disney Plus or Hulu in the US. That one we haven't really seen that one really fully kicking in yet. But internationally, they've been licensing out to anything like that. So nothing's really going to be that exclusive. They're going to be doing special offers and stuff. If you are a member through PlayStation Plus, you're going to get extra offers and stuff. It just seems a little bit weird. And also, I mean, how many people are really going to remember if a film is if it's, a brand new film come out, it's like, is it Sony? Or can I get it early on my PlayStation? It's just, I get what they're doing, but I think trying to make it its own little separate thing, I don't know. It just seems really strange. I mean, I could have completely understood it if it was all fully integrated with PS Plus and that was a way of kind of getting more people onto there or trying to offer some more value. I kind of get that from the games point of view, but this like weird app and the fact that it's only on PlayStation, then, it's gonna, not everyone can access it. It's a very odd little system. I am a PlayStation Plus member. So I'm going to try and check this out when I eventually get it to work. I had to keep logging in, and it just keeps going around and around. Might be because so many people are trying to log on to it right now, but yeah, so if you are a fan of Sony's Marvel films, this is going to be one way you're going to be able to watch it. Yeah, are you interested in this new Sony Pictures Core sort of app? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Go check us out over at whatsonatdisneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Later.